Good morning. I'm going to talk a little bit about boots this morning, specifically Pacific Northwest boots. Now, I've worn several different brands over the couple years, and there are some differences. There are some similarities. The boot we're going to talk about this morning is the Frank's Fire Commander. Now, this boot is built very well. I mean, it's a tank of a boot. It has a smooth leather upper and a rough out vamp and heel counter. The reason that I got this boot was it had a 1-inch sole. This sole here is approximately 1 inch thick. So most of the other boots that I have a 3/4 inch sole. JK, Drew's, American made lace to toe rough shot. Drew's 10-inch logger, which is made in Mexico. And then I guess that pretty much covers it. Oh, the Frank's Patriot. I do also have that boot as well. I have a couple of those. So we'll talk about value because all the boots that I mentioned seem to be built well, but some boots are more of a value than some of the others, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. So this boot does have the Red X fire resistant sole. Again, it is a thicker sole, so the break-in time is a little more extended than would be with like the 3/4 soles. The thickness of the leather, if we do it here at the boot strap, let's see, I'm on 3.56, and then I got a reading of 3.3. So and if we look at the heel, this boot has a 2-inch heel, and there is a four leather stack here in the heel. You've got for the construction of the rest of the sole, you've got the outsole, you've got a very thick rubber slip sole, and then you have a leather sole, and then you've got the stitched down construction here. So you've got the upper that's stitched, and then the heel is nailed in. This, from the appearances on the outside, all the boots look the same. The difference between like this boot and some of the other boots is on the inside. And this boot, if you notice, because it is so thick, it does not have the stitching here on the tread. The rapid stitch would be done for these, the leather midsole, the slip sole, and that is also, there's another stitch that is done. It's called a McKay lock stitch, and that McKay lock stitch actually bonds all those together on the inside. So you've got an inside stitch that bonds all those components together, and then you've got this stitching on the outside that also does that, plus glue, plus nails. I mean, this is built like a battleship. It's built very well. Now, some of your other manufacturers, like JK and Nix, have opted to go away from the McKay stitch. They did at one time offer it, but my research on the internet has shown that sometime around COVID, at least with the case for Nix, stitching or the thread became scarce, because you have to remember a lot of factories were shut down. And so it wasn't available. They had to choose between making fewer boots that had the full process, or they could make more boots with just the outside, stitch down, and just forego the McKay lock stitch. Now, we talk about value. That McKay lock stitch is a mechanical bond, in addition to the glue and the nails, and the outside stitch. So when you eliminate that process and you charge, roughly the same price as what the companies with the McKay lock stitch, which in the boots that I own is the Franks and the Drews lace to toe, the lace to toe rough shot. There's more wrapped up in that boot. So, and what I mean by that, let me expound on that. So if you eliminate that process, that whole process, you are eliminating a machine that requires maintenance. You are eliminating an operator that needs to work that machine, so it's a labor savings. You are eliminating the electricity to run that machine. You are eliminating the additional thread to run on that machine, and you're opening up more space. So what it appears to me is, it appears that it's a cost savings measure, but that cost savings really is not passed on to you as the customer. So value-wise, the Franks and like I said, the Drews, the USA-made Drews, have an additional process to make sure that that boot is more robust and will stay together with that additional process. As far as comfort is concerned, the Franks it's a very comfortable boot once it's broke in, but it takes a little bit longer to break this boot in versus like my Drews lace to toe. That was actually quite easy to break in, and it has a 3/4 inch sole, and it has the leather midsole and rubber slip sole in addition to the outsole. The JK, which is probably my favorite boot that is not black and that I wear quite a bit, was very easy to break in. Now, it does not have a rubber slip sole. It just has they say it's a thicker leather midsole. It's really close. It's debatable, but it is flexible, and it is comfortable. But it is missing that additional process. So when it comes down to it, when you want to make your decision on which boot you want to go with, obviously you need to look at your application. For me, I'm on concrete, on an indoor facility, 12 hours. So it's something that needs to be comfortable, and I need to make sure it's dependable. I need to make sure that it's sure grip and that I have good footing. Both the Franks and the Drews have proven to be that. So, and not that JK is a bad boot. It's not. It's just the JK and the Nix have eliminated a process, but their price is the same as as the Franks boot and the Drews lace to toe, or their other USA-made boots. They have that additional process, and they don't charge any more for it. So that's something that you might want to consider when deciding on what boot to get. But we'll be looking at some other boots later, so just look for that. If you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to put them on there. I'll answer them as quickly as I can, and we'll talk to you later.